you someone who always needs a recipe before you think about cooking? What if cooking didn't have to be that hard? Imagine what would happen if you had the freedom to pull together healthy meals without looking at a recipe first. Listen on to discover what that's like and my tiny tip to get you started today. So, welcome to Joyful Eating, episode 210. And today we're talking about the life-changing magic of healthy meals without recipes. But before we get to that, the best bite I had, one of my favorite desserts, it's like easy desserts. I love cheesecake, but when I couldn't be bothered making a whole cheesecake, I love just getting a tub of smooth ricotta and then just spooning the ricotta into a bowl and then adding something sweet to it and sometimes something like nutty as well. And I just did a really simple version the other day with smooth ricotta, a bit of double cream, so I had some double cream that needed eating up, and some blackberry jam that I had made not last year, but the year before from blackberries in my garden. And it had started to crystallize a bit in the fridge. So it was like, had this crunch to it. And yeah, it was so good. Yeah. So like mixing the jam through the creamy, cheesy ricotta, like just like eating a spoon. It was just, yeah, so delicious with a little bit of the crunch from the crystalline sugar. It was yum. Okay. So our plan today is first we're going to talk about look at the problem with recipes, and then we're going to talk about what happens when you learn to cook without recipes and you get that freedom. And then I'm going to share with you how my journey of how I learned to cook without recipes. And then I've got a tiny tip to get you started so you can apply today. Okay, so problem with recipes. So as you know, if you've ever followed a recipe, like you have to, first of all, you have to find the recipe. So whether that's going through a cookbook or going through a food magazine or Googling something, right? And you need to go do that step. And then, of course, you need to do good shopping because you're probably not going to have the ingredients that are all the ingredients that the recipe is required. Or if you don't, you might want to not go shopping. So you spend hours looking for the right recipe that has the ingredients that you have. And it takes a lot of time. And this deciding what to cook takes so much time and energy because you've got this hurdle of like, first I've got to find the recipe, then I have to gather the ingredients before you even get into the kitchen. And the other thing that the other problem with cooking with recipes is that when you are shopping, like you're shopping from that list. And so what happens if the store is out of, say you're planning to make something with kale, there's no kale. And so you're like freaking out because it's like, oh, I'm going to have to go to another store to get kale. Like, I remember when I was in my 20s and I was cooking with recipes, I used to do that. I would go from store to store just until I got everything I needed. And it took forever. And another thing when we're following recipes is that it really stifles our creativity. We're looking to someone else to be the expert and to guide us. And so we aren't able to follow our intuition because we've got to follow the recipe. And it just takes so much energy and effort when we're cooking in this way. And thing with when you're cooking with recipes is the other thing is that oftentimes your meals will be quite elaborate. So when you're planning it, it seems like a great idea, but then when you get home on Tuesday and it's been a really long, hard day and you're like, oh, like I don't have the energy for this. So I guess that's another downside to recipes is that most people that write recipes are, chefs who have a lot of assistants, or they're food people who are happy to, like, they want to make a goat's cheese souffle, that they'll go first, raise their goat and milk their goat and make their own goat's cheese, like where that's fun, rather than people who have real lives and real jobs that don't have hours to spend preparing meals. So I think a lot of recipes aren't designed with modern life in mind, and so that causes the problem. And the other problem with cooking with recipes is that it can feel like a chore. I've got to do all these things to get a meal on the table. And then of course the other problem is that when you are locked into the recipe, like in cooking with recipes, like in having to find the right recipe, it feels like a chore. It feels like a big effort, and you aren't able to make the most of nice produce. You don't have that freedom to use up your leftovers, and use up the things that are going bad in your fridge. That just locks you in, so you don't have that flexibility or freedom. So what happens when we are able to cook without recipes? So I tell you what, it's a whole different experience. Oh, and the other problem with recipes, that's what I forgot to mention earlier, is that something goes wrong and it doesn't turn out how you had hoped. you like, because you're just following someone else's blueprint, like, you don't know why, you don't understand. And so it can be really hard to fix the problem, let alone diagnose so that you avoid it for next time. So it's hard to learn from the mistakes when you're just following someone else's recipe. So yeah, lots of problems. There's a reason, of course, and there is a time and place for recipes. I still read recipes all the time, and even though I have this ability to cook without recipes, there are still times where I don't follow what someone else has said. Usually it's on a Sunday, but for everyday meals, don't. It's very rare for me to follow a recipe these days. And what happens when you have this skill, when you are able to cook without recipes, is you feel this sense of freedom. Like you're able to shop. When you go shopping, you don't have to have this list. You can just look at what looks good and buy the ingredients that look good and bring them home and decide what to cook with them later. It saves you so much time because you're not having to Google things or search up recipes first and write detailed lists or go to multiple stores. You can just buy what's available at wherever you're shopping and then make it from there. Or if you're not going shopping, you can just use what you have. So you have that freedom. You're saving yourself so much time. And with that freedom comes a sense of ease. It's not this big chore. It's not this big project. It's like, hey, no dramas. I can pull something together. And also it feels fun because we're not following someone else's rules, and it feels really great to be able to create a healthy meal and for it not to be this big deal. And so yeah, it feels fun. You feel that sense of joy, like actually looking forward to getting into the kitchen because it's like a little bit of time to be creative and to pull together something that it can be nourishing yourself, nourishing other people. Like, so beautiful to have that. And the other really cool thing when you know how to cook with recipes is that you have that confidence so that you can fix your mistakes. So when something doesn't turn out so well, it's not the end of the world. It's not this big deal. It's like, oh, we can either fix it or you've learned a valuable lesson that you won't, so you're not going to make that mistake again in the future. So really, cooking goes from being a chore to being relaxing and fun. Of course, when something's relaxing and fun, you're way more likely to do it. And so you're way more likely to be eating better and then feeling the effects of nourishing yourself well and feeling good about taking better care of yourself because you have this skill. So there's so many knock-on effects to that, not only from an enjoyment perspective, but also from the health perspective and from, not just weight, but all the other aspects of health that are impacted by the quality of the nutrition that we're exposing ourselves to. And also the other cool thing, but you can get this when you are cooking with recipes as well, but you get compliments because you're enjoying it, you're creating food that's delicious, your loved ones appreciate you doing that. I'm totally motivated by the praise. So yeah, but I wanted to share with you some actual success stories from people that I've worked with who've gone from being either recipe cooks or non-cooks or who haven't been enjoying cooking to learning this skill of cooking without recipes and how that's changed their lives. So first is Julie, who's from Canada, and she said, cooking is so much more fun. I'm enjoying myself and more curious about experimenting. I don't dread it anymore. Yay. And there's an anonymous person who said, it's life-changing. Honestly, I'm so grateful that I found joyful cooking, especially when I did, because of the chaos that was going on in my life. Being able to feed myself with delicious, healthy, simple meals has made things that much easier instead of eating being a burden and adding to my stress like it would have been. And then Monica said, I feel more confident and calm because I know how to cook with any ingredient I have in the pantry. And then Natalie said, I feel confident in my ability to try things for the first time, even without a certainty that they will end up good. I'm willing to fail and learn. I enjoy cooking, which means I have one less, oh no, actually this is from Mish. I enjoy cooking, which means I have one less chore to do each day, week, and one more fun activity to do each day and week. So that was from Mish, who's in Tasmania. Then Natalie, who's in Melbourne, she said, thanks to Jules, I've gone from a religiously follow the recipe cook to and I can make something with whatever looks good in the produce store or what is that is growing in my garden cook. For example, I'm currently swamped with an abundance of plums from our backyard plum tree. I just watched Jules's ice cream formula. So I've roasted a batch of plums and made a roast plum ice cream. So good. My husband's comment on tasting was like, oh my God, OMG, I could bury my head in this. Thanks so much, Jules. You're so clever and a great teacher and so generous with your knowledge. I'm most definitely now a joyful cook. And then Nira had said, little by little, I've changed. My resistance toward cooking disappeared when I don't even know, and I became a joyful cook. Not only a joyful cook, but also a joyful person. I'm taking my challenges without pressure, knowing that I don't have to be perfect, listen to myself, and instinctively decide what works best for me. Thanks, Jules, for being instrumental in bringing about this change in me. So that all sounds pretty good, right? And I just want you to know that these changes are possible for you too. It's possible for you to be having less chores and more fun. It's possible for you to be like Natalie and, cooking things from her garden, like off just from scratch without having to check a recipe first, and feeling that joy that comes from cooking and nourishing. And like that anonymous person who was going through a really difficult time and actually was able to learn this skill and take better care of herself through a difficult time, rather than food being another burden that she had to manage in that time. So it sounds pretty good, doesn't it? And so how did I learn to cook without recipes? So as I mentioned before, like I learned to cook by following recipes. And I actually, even before when the internet was very young, I actually had a website called Jules the Grape Juice Junkie where I put my recipes online. So when I was traveling, I'd be able to access them. So I was very, very devoted to my recipes. Of course, it was very time consuming and it was frustrating, like though I didn't know why something had failed, or I had to go from store to store to get all those ingredients. I couldn't fix problems and I couldn't substitute, but I was able to learn. And then what happened was I actually was working as a winemaker in the Barossa Valley, and just like my work, it was vintage time. So it was like I was either at the winery or asleep. Like there was zero time for anything else. And so I didn't have time for all the recipe fluff. I just had to feed myself. And I just, over time and with a lot of error, came up with these flexible frameworks that I started to be able to pull together meals without recipes. So I'd be able to go to the farmer's market once a week, buy what looked good, and then feed myself during the week with minimal effort and minimal time. If you want to get started on just getting to this beautiful place where you do experience the life-changing magic of cooking without recipes, then I invite you to just experiment with seasoning at the table. So what that looks like is like whenever you're eating anything, if someone else has cooked it or you're at a restaurant, taste the food first, taste how it, then get really, see how it tastes in you. Like just open your mind to how it tastes, and then add a little bit of salt and taste again. And that's going to start training your palate. The very first baby step on learning the skill of seasoning, but it's going to start training you on how salt changes food. And of course, that's just one of the many tools that we have as cooks in order to be able to season food and make it taste good. But it's a really great place to start. And you don't even have to have cooked the food to start experimenting with that. So it's really fun. So if you want to experience the life-changing magic of cooking without recipes for yourself, then join me in Joyful Cooking in 90 days. It's my group coaching program where I help you learn to cook without being glued to a recipe, so you're able to look in the fridge and just whip up something enjoyable. So doors to Joyful Cooking are now open, and sign up today so you can start feeling better from the very first lesson as you become a confident, intuitive cook who looks forward to making healthy meals with less effort than it takes to pick up takeout, and who feels good about taking care and nourishing yourself even when life gets challenging. So we'd love to welcome you in. Okay, have a beautiful week, and I will catch you next week. Okay, bye.